can see he's having great difficulty in breathing.
British doctor David Knott, who has worked extensively in Syria during the current conflict, shows me a shocking video he's been sent by a doctor he helped train in rebel-held Saraqib in Idlib. The gruesome symptoms in front of us, filmed last Sunday, seem to indicate some kind of highly toxic chemical attack. To try and find out more, we call the doctor at the hospital in Saraqib who sent David Knott the video. Fearing reprisals against his family, he didn't want to be filmed, but told me by phone about the symptoms he saw.
Vomiting, normal movement.
Could they breathe?
They can't breathe good.
What do you think caused this?
I don't know.
What has happened to the children?
We try to protect them, but there is no benefit. Most of them dead.
I would say, looking at this,
The doctor went on to tell me that all the patients smelt strongly of chlorine. But David Knott believes there has to be something even more toxic involved, most probably a nerve agent such as sarin.
A lot of these patients that we saw weren't breathing, and with chlorine you tend to hyperventilate, you tend to try and breathe to try and cough up all this amount of fluid that's on the lung. But here I didn't see that. I saw lots of patients in severe respiratory distress and also respiratory arrest as well, and also cardiac arrest, which is not really seen in hypochlorine attacks.
In April last year, more than 80 people died in Khan Sheikhoun in a chemical attack using nerve agents. Declaring that a red line had been crossed, US President Donald Trump ordered a strike on the Syrian Air Force base which had launched the assault.
To prevent and deter the spread and use of deadly chemical weapons.
They'll turn your words into...
Some now believe that chlorine may have been used in last week's attack on Saraqib to help avoid such retaliation by disguising the use of sarin.
First of all, the sarin is used, which does the real damage, and then seconds or minutes later, chlorine is dropped, which masks the sarin. What the regime have found very successfully from their assault in Aleppo in December 2016 is that if you put gas on the ground, that sinks into these cellars because it's heavier than air. It then forces the civilians who don't have gas masks to protect them up into the streets, where they're then susceptible to bombs and bullets.
Surgeon David Knott, who has worked in many different war zones, still finds it hard to watch the video he was sent by doctors in Saraqib.
To see young children dying in front of you with severe respiratory problems was really horrible to watch. There's people on all fronts will say this is mocked up, this is not real, but I can guarantee you cannot fake a 3-year-old child to lie on the floor and pretend that he's dying of respiratory failure. You cannot do that.
The use of chemical weapons on Saraqib has yet to be officially verified, though the UN says they've received many similar credible-sounding claims from other doctors elsewhere in Syria after a fortnight of intensive airstrikes. But spokesman Jan Egeland says he doesn't doubt how much the people of Syria are suffering.
My heart is bleeding, really, for the civilian population. I feel I failed. I think the UN member states have failed. The international community has failed the Syrian civilian population in their hour of greatest need. But of course, it's not too late to save those who have survived so far.
Maybe, but time is fast running out. And many on the ground worry that even if the Saraqib deaths are proved to have been caused by sarin, the outside world will continue to sit on its hands.